Hey, so glad you're starting off your Wednesday with us. It's 6 a.m. I'm Eric Connert.
And I'm Netta Irampour. And yeah, hopefully it's a nice morning for you so far.
Right.
A little cool out there. I will say it was cold overnight.
Yeah.
Let's see what meteorologist Vanessa Paz is tracking this morning. What can we expect?
Good morning, guys, and happy Wednesday. As we get halfway through the week, we're looking at some changes. Today, we have the shot of seeing a stray shower here or there, although right now it's looking dry. In fact, as we take a look at our satellite and radar composite, I'm going to zoom on into San Diego County and notice how we don't have a lot of greenery on the board, most of the greenery just offshore. That's not to say we're in the clear. I am seeing the chance for a stray shower here or there throughout the morning hours especially, and then we dry out this afternoon. The mountains and desert areas, though, could see the greatest chances for rain when it comes to the second half of the day. All right, here's a live look outside. We have a mix of clear skies as well as some high clouds hanging out in the distance. As Netta mentioned, it's a very cool start to the day, so make sure that you're layering up as well as those kids as you get them ready for the day. We are in the 30s in our mountain areas, 40s and 50s for the neighborhoods west of the mountains. We'll talk more about what we can expect in terms of the rain when we're looking at drier conditions, and we'll also talk about the high winds that we're expecting to wrap up the work week. All right, 6:01 is the time. Let's go ahead and switch gears and see what's happening across your freeways. This is on the 5 in both directions, right at Genesee Avenue. Coming at your screen is that southbound drive coming in from Del Mar. So far, so good around the Golden Triangle. Right side of your screen here is that drive headed in from the South Bay, and it's actually looking fairly quiet. This is right at Home Avenue. Typically, we see a lot more cars, but right now it's looking fairly light, which is good news for anyone headed out the door. Coming up in about 7-8 minutes or so, we'll take a look at what your Wednesday travel times have in store. That's all ahead. Back to you guys.
Right now, several lanes of the 5 are closed near the San Ysidro border due to a construction project. The 6 westernmost southbound lanes and the Camino de la Plaza on-ramp are closed through Friday at 5 a.m. Phase 2 starts Friday when the easternmost southbound lanes will be closed through January 23rd. CHP urging drivers to plan ahead, use transit, or consider the Otay Mesa border crossing.
And now today marks 5 years since Chula Vista mother Maya Millete disappeared.
Maya's body has not been found, and now her husband is getting ready to stand trial for her murder. CBS 8's Regina Yarita live at the Mount San Miguel Community Park. And Regina, that's where a memorial is going to be held here this weekend?
That's correct. The memorial hike will be taking place here at Mount San Miguel Park, very close to where Maya used to live. Now, Maya Millete's body has never been found till this day, and her family is still desperate for answers.
Like, we want life to continue because I know that's what my sister would want us to do. But at the same time, it draws us back again to the first day that we find out she's missing.
Now, Wednesday again marks 5 years since Maya Millete vanished from Chula Vista. Her body has never been found, and her husband now charged with her murder. As the family prepares for an upcoming trial, they continue searching for answers about what happened to the mother of 3. Larry Millete was arrested in October 2021 and charged with Maya's murder. His trial is scheduled to begin in March. Maya's sister, Mary Chris, now has custody of Maya's 3 children, who were just nearly toddlers at the time, now 9, 14, and nearly 16. Her sister tells us the children are thriving. She says they're doing well in school and making their mother proud. Prosecutors say the marriage between Maya and Larry Millete was turbulent, alleging he was desperate to stop her from leaving. During a preliminary hearing last year, jurors heard a secret recording Maya made months before she vanished, capturing a heated exchange between the couple. For Marie Chris and her husband Richard, the last 5 years have been emotionally devastating, and the wait for answers continues. So with the trial approaching, the family knows it will reopen painful wounds. Still, Marie Chris hopes it may finally bring the truth, especially for the children. So back out here this Saturday, memorial hike will be taking place here at this park in Chula Vista near the family's former home. We do know that Maya Millete's children will be at this hike for the first time since they started this memorial hike. For now, I'll send it back to you.
Regina, thank you. We have an update this morning. A judge has granted a resentencing hearing for the man convicted in the deadly Santana High School shooting. Andy Williams was 15 when he killed 2 classmates and shot 13 others in 2001. He pleaded guilty and was sentenced to 50 years to life. Since then, state law has changed for people sentenced as adults for crimes committed as minors. The case could go to juvenile court, where Williams would have to be released because he is now over 25. A hearing is set for next month, but could be delayed with the DA's office appealing this. They argue a parole board found him unsuitable for release in 2024.
Starting today, the Trump administration will begin garnishing wages from borrowers in default on their federal student loans.
About 1,000 notices will be issued this week. CBS 8's Chris Grow live at SDSU with all that people need to know if they get that notice. Chris.
Yeah, good morning, guys. And look, that 30-day notice is essentially letting them know that there is still an opportunity here to make that payment, but that in 30 days, wages will begin to be garnished. Now, for those who are in default on their student loans, that means that you have not made a payment in at least 9 months or more. So that means that it has been some time since you have actually made a payment for variety of any reasons. Now, as for, again, what we are looking at here in terms of what could be garnished, those wages could be anything from seizing tax refunds, Social Security benefits, or withholding up to 15% of a borrower's pay. Now, about 40% of those saddled with student debt actually never graduated with their degree. That is according to Mike Pierce, who's the executive director of Protect Borrowers, a nonprofit that advocates for those who have student loan debt. He also says that there are millions of borrowers on the brink already of defaulting on their loans. Take a listen.
You can do is ignore it, because the government doesn't need to go to court to garnish your wages. You do have rights. These people are paid to answer your questions, and you shouldn't run away from your bills if you get one you can't afford.
Now, of course, you can go to CBS8.com, click on that story link for more tips about exactly what to do. But Pierce adds that if you do receive one of these notices, or you think you might soon, if you feel like you haven't been able to make a payment, to contact your student loan provider to see if you can work out some agreement. Eric and Netta.
Chris, thanks for that. This morning, the Trump administration is moving to withhold billions of dollars in aid for low-income families with children. Officials are citing a new fraud investigation aimed at California, New York, Minnesota, Illinois, and Colorado. This would directly impact programs like Head Start. Nonprofits say losing this funding could be devastating.
They're not going to be able to go to school. They won't be able to work. The children won't have a safe environment to attend. To have that foundation that's so important in their early childhood education development.
Now, the White House has not provided details on the alleged fraud claims or how these funds would be withheld.
Okay, here we are at 6:08 and wondering, how to dress for the day.
Right.
Of course,
Yeah.
always a question in the early mornings.
Rain
but
boots.
The rain,
Yeah.
Do we need a hoodie? What do you think?
I wouldn't say the rain boots, maybe a bit excessive because
Okay.
we're not expecting downpours by any
Got it.
means, but maybe some light showers here or there, maybe something with the hood. And pack on those layers, because if you step outside, you will immediately notice that it is quite chilly. All right, we are looking at clear skies. In fact, this is from our San Miguel camera facing west. The sky's clear enough, especially close to the surface, which is what we like to see. Visibility in good shape, that you could see the Sweetwater Reservoir in the distance there. As we take a look at current temperatures as you head out the door, just pick your neighborhood. Right now we're at 42 degrees in Ramona. Good morning to you. Waking up at 52, about 10 degrees warmer out in the desert areas, 5 degrees above freezing out in Palomar Mountain. It looks like we're missing a temperature for Julian. 36 in Mount Laguna, and most of the coastal areas are waking up in the scattered 50s, so quite cool there, mid to low 50s from Oceanside all the way down to the South Bay. You may notice that it's dry as you're heading out the door, but that's not to say we're in the clear. In fact, the chance of rain will stick with us, although it's on that scattered level all the way through this morning into the afternoon. But you could very well stay dry, not see any shower activity throughout the day, depending on where you are. The showers will be few and far between throughout the day. If we do see any rain, the numbers are going to be fairly light. We're talking about 1 to maybe 2/10 of an inch, nothing in comparison to the storm systems that we were tracking over the past several days. Current winds right now are fairly light, but this is actually going to change. These numbers are going to climb 24 hours from now as we have a secondary system pulling in south from the north, and that's going to ramp up winds in a major way, enough to trigger high wind watches as well as wind advisories for some of our microclimates from the mountains all the way to the desert areas. And this wind advisory could very well get upgraded depending on how strong those winds get. This is something to keep in mind because we've seen a lot of rain over the past several days. The ground's very saturated, so downed trees are going to be a major concern. We'll talk more about the timeline of the highest winds later on in my full forecast. All right, let's go ahead and switch gears and see what's happening on your freeways this Wednesday morning. As of last check, things are looking fairly light, still very dark and early out there. This is at Southbound Drive coming in from Del Mar near the Golden Triangle. This is the 805 in the South Bay. Northbound Drive on the right side of your screen, passing Home Avenue, making your way towards the 15 connector. In terms of speeds, everyone is looking fairly nice this morning. I'm not seeing too much yellow or red, which indicates a lot of slowing. I'm not sure what's going on. At the same time yesterday, we were seeing a good amount of brake tapping, but things are fairly quiet this morning. 67 to 71 mile per hour speeds coming in from the South Bay. Here's what you can expect if you're traveling in from Chula Vista or National City. Anywhere between 10 to 15 minutes coming in from the 54 as well as San Ysidro, and we're still in the green for most of those drives. It's what we like to see coming in from the East County. All right, let's take a look at those border wait times from Otay Mesa as well as San Ysidro's port of entry. They're quite high, so even though the drive times across our major freeways aren't too bad, the border wait time's kind of a different story. We're looking at about an hour 20 in from San Ysidro's port of entry and just under that, 5 minutes shy of that from Otay Mesa this morning.